I have entirely abandoned this channel, but I have to do another 10-hour project for class, so I'm back. I wouldn't tell you to expect other videos, but let's go ahead and get into this. Ari Aster is my favorite artist ever. He's my favorite filmmaker, his stories resonate with me on the deepest possible level, and all of his films are personal classics. Of his 3 features, one film stood out to me in particular, and that's his third, Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid is a fascinating film in every aspect. After making 2 of the most acclaimed and refreshing horror films of this century, Ari Aster disappeared for 4 years to make this. A24 gave him their largest budget at the time to do basically whatever he wanted. Beau is Afraid is often cited as Ari Aster's therapy film. Ari spills all of his heart and soul into this film to an almost uncomfortable degree. Despite the lead character being about 20 years older than Aster, it's clear that Beau is a manifestation of everything Ari Aster feels about himself. While I'm only going to talk about the first act of the film and moments from Beau's childhood flashbacks in Act 2, I'll give a light spoiler warning. This video is a project for my interpersonal communication class, and I think Beau Wasserman is a fascinating character in that regard. Beau himself rarely shows any emotion other than fear and guilt, but the film itself is from his perspective, so we have to analyze the visual language and script of the film in order to understand Beau as a person. My class covered a lot of different aspects of communication, but I wanted to focus on self-perception. Whether we like it or not, how we view ourselves is fundamental to how we communicate with others. We need to understand ourselves before we can really understand each other. It's hard to comprehend what's real and what isn't in the film, but either way, all of it is a reflection of Beau's inner psyche. And with that, we see that everyone in this world hates Beau. For just a small example of this, when Beau takes his medicine without water, he looks up what's going to happen if you do that, and all the results tell him he's going to die. Because of this, he goes to a gas station to get some water, but someone stole his keys from his unlocked front door earlier. So he can't get back into the apartment if the door closes, so he leaves a book in the doorway. But when he tries to pay for the water, the card declines. So he tries to pay with cash, but he's a few cents behind. The gas station employee threatens him and says he's going to call the police. And while this is happening, everyone in the city realized that Beau has propped the door open and they're going into his apartment building. Beau eventually finds some change and pays for the water, but he runs to his apartment and he is locked out. Everyone in the city is now in his apartment, destroying it. All of this happens in 5 minutes. Keep in mind, this movie is 3 hours long and it never lets up on the endless bad things happening to Beau. Yeah, it's farcical, but in Beau's head, if something goes wrong, then everything else will. The reason I wanted to look at this through the perspective of self-perception is because Beau never acknowledges what's happening to him. I think the film would be ruined if Beau had an ounce of self-awareness, because when you feel like everyone's out to get you, trying to understand will end up making that feeling go away. It's good to look at Beau through the lens introduced in my textbook called Psychological Vultures. Consider for a moment the vulture, an unattractive bird with sharp claws and a pointy beak, whose favorite activity is picking on the weak, the helpless, and preferably, the dead. It dives into the flesh and picks away at it. The psychological vulture does much the same thing. It attacks a person's perceived weaknesses and eats at the person's self-worth. Every character in this film represents one of these psychological vultures for Beau. He sees everyone around him as someone ready to attack him at any moment, because Beau attacks himself at every moment. For example, this character, the bald, tattooed man, only serves to get angry and chase Beau into his apartment. This character represents Beau's fear of the outside world, while also serving as one of the vultures constantly attacking Beau in his mind. Beau's vultures are self-fulfilling prophecies, in a literal and metaphorical sense. In this mind world of Beau's, everything goes wrong. His house is broken into, he is robbed, beaten, hit by a car, and many other things. Beau manifested this. The world isn't really out to get Beau because this isn't the real world. Beau tells himself every day that he isn't worthy of love, that he isn't a good person, that he's entirely worthless. In this constant feed of self-inflicted negative feedback, Beau finds himself trapped. Beau never challenges this self-talk because he's never really had a reason to. Everyone around him reaffirmed his self-hatred. The only time someone ever really saw Beau as a worthwhile person was when he was a child. With this character, Elaine. Elaine is an interesting enigma because she's the only person in Beau's life that genuinely cares for him, and I think she represents a small sliver of positive self-talk that Beau eventually loses as a child. After a while of getting along, Elaine's mother aggressively takes her away from Beau, and they never see each other again. I think in this case, Elaine's mother represents Beau's mother. All this constant self-hatred came from a place. Beau wasn't born hating himself, and it's revealed throughout his childhood that Beau's mother saw him as a burden. She saw herself as a great person and was constantly disappointed in everything Beau did, but she only showed it in ways that made him internalize it. Elaine's quick disappearance represents Beau's breaking point in his internal positive thinking. Without this figure to reassure him of himself, he wallowed in his own misery for the next 40 years. All of Beau's world is his own mind. This video was a lot quicker than the ones I usually make, but I just wanted to give some quick thoughts. Keep in mind that Beau is Afraid is a deeply pessimistic film, and you don't need to look towards it for advice. Beau never escapes these psychological vultures he has. He constantly wallows in his own self-hatred, but you don't have to do that. To quote some quick advice from the textbook for my class, a method to overcome negative self-talk is to 1. Realize when you use negative inner speech. 2. Rewrite those negatives into positive and review the positives periodically. And 3. Stop your negativity by allowing positive talk to flood your brain. Recycled negatives can be a way of turning your trash into treasure. Once you start focusing on the positive, the negatives go away. Negative self-talk can't survive if you don't feed it. Alright, that's all I have for you today. Beau's Afraid is a great film. I highly recommend it. It's pretty upsetting though, so if you don't want to feel like you're having an anxiety attack for 3 hours, I actually don't recommend it. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you the next time I do a 10-hour project for school.